Power comes in from the Arduino to the breadboard. The A1 pin is hooked up to the wiper of the potentiometer, and positive negative is hooked up to the potentiometer. There is a 220 ohm resistor hooked up to the LED, and the other end of the LED is hooked to the negative with the resistor going to pin 12. And when I turn the potentiometer and it reaches a value of 400, it turns on. Under 400, over 400, under, over. In this one, the power comes from the rails over to the breadboard, which then power goes from power rails just to the line tracker and pin the white line for the white cable for the line tracker goes to pin A0. So moving it from one to the other shows if it's not on one, if it's on white, if it's on black, black, white, unknown, black, white, unknown. So black, white, and unknown. And there's my code. Arduino to the breadboard. The green cables are connected to negative, which hooks into the switch or into the buttons. The yellow cables go to pins 3 and 4, and it uses the resistors as a pull-up resistor because they're hooked up to positive. So that then when the buttons are pressed, it tells it that they have gone low, and so then it turns off. For the LEDs, they're hooked up to pins 11 and 12. Red is 12, yellow is 11, and they go over and they're connected then to negative using a 220 ohm resistor, and these are 10k ohm resistors for the pull-ups. When a one button is pressed, yellow light goes on, and if both buttons are pressed, red light goes on. So this is the next step in lab 4. Power comes in from the Arduino to the breadboard. These are all 3 buttons are hooked up with a pull-up resistor. One side goes to the negative, the resistor is plugged into positive, and the lead runs to its pin for the Arduino. So this one is 3, 4, and 5. Over for the LEDs, each one of these goes to then its own pin on the Arduino. So 11, 12, and 13. And each one has a 220 ohm resistor, while the pull-up resistors are 10k. So for this lab, we have to program it so then with each button press it goes and it lights up a different light. But if multiple buttons are pressed, they turn off. Doesn't matter what button you press, they turn off. Objective 5, I used most of my wiring from Objective 4. So pull-up resistors with 10 ohms. Each one connects to their own pin and has a ground connection. Supplied power from the Arduino. There's a 220 ohm resistor going to the negative lead of the RGB LED, and each one of the red wires goes to a different pin on the RGB LED. So I can push the first button and I get red. Press the second button, I get green. Third button, I get blue. Now if I push these two buttons together, 1 and 2, I get, oh, it's supposed to be yellow. Looks a little red, but that's red, so that's yellow, because it's green and red together. So red, yellow, and then if I push these two together, I get magenta. So just for comparison, that's blue, that's magenta, and that's red. And if I push these two together, I get cyan. Just for comparison, that's blue, that's cyan. Blue, cyan, green. This is the automatic light with using 6 LEDs, and we have them all. Power comes in from the Arduino. I have a negative kind of rail going for them, and all the positives plug into the Arduino on this side, going from 7 through 12. Over here we have a photo transistor, because our kits don't come with photo resistors, and that's hooked up to a 10K resistor that sends its signal over to pin A1. It doesn't work that great, even though the programming is correct, because this is the wrong thing to be using. It does still work though, somewhat, if I cover it. Making it darker goes into the lights up more of them, and the lighter it gets, the less there are.